Okay.
Cool.
Hello, welcome to another episode of this podcast thing we do called the Dark Mushroom Media Livecast. My name is Tim. With me is Palmer and Jose.
On base.
And I guess we should just kick right into what everyone's talking about, and that would be the Fallout 4 announcement. We're all, we all play Fallout. We're all fans of the franchise. I mean, it wasn't that big of a deal, just one trailer. I think they're planning on releasing more details at E3 in a couple weeks. Just initial thoughts, boyos.
It seems like we all kind of took something different from the trailer. Uh, well, that's what I gathered from our mini conversation beforehand. Where I saw potential to have a much more filled in world with NPCs because they emphasized on people and then running to the vaults. And that's pretty much what I took from it. I noted that the graphics weren't uh, bullshit, better than the game will actually look. Hate train that's been going on the internet recently, but yeah, I mean I was excited. I know you're way more excited for Fallout games than I am. I only really got into them on 3. Didn't play Vegas, but I played the shit out of 3. And if this looks like 3, and it's gonna be great. It was a fun experience.
I think me and Palmer are in the same corner of just being battered down by the gaming industry over the past couple of years, where neither of us are really optimistic, but we're both secretly there's a small part of us just hoping that it comes out being half as cool as we want it to
That's
be.
that's
Yeah.
like the adult way to look at it.
Yeah,
I uh
Very good.
I don't know. I'm worried. I'm worried about what Steam's gonna do with mods. We collectively as gamers won the right to free mods when it came to Skyrim, but when Steam decided to drop that bullshit, they said that Skyrim was
yeah, the wrong opening
the wrong opening
salvo.
to do it. And it just seems to me like, all right, well, what would be the right one? A new Bethesda game. Well, Fallout's going to be the next Bethesda game, aside from Doom, but that's really only being published by them. Uh, what's going to happen? Does that mean that it's going to launch with like paid mods? Like, is it something that's going to happen with that? I just I feel like it's a very tumultuous time. Like you've got to wait, you've got to be patient, you've got to see what everything's going to be about and where things are going. I've heard I keep reading all this stuff on Reddit and 4chan and various other forums talking about how the graphics suck, but the graphics are the least of my concerns. Honestly, you can't trust anything. How nice would it be to have this trailer that admittedly doesn't have very good graphics come out, and then turns out that the final product actually looks better. That's the way it should be, and that's the way I think most developers should approach these things. Because if you're viewing in-game footage, it shouldn't look as good as the final product. Or early game footage is what I'm trying to say. It shouldn't
Yeah,
look as good as the final product. Um, I think that there's plenty of time left for them to improve. As far as I know, they didn't announce a release date, correct?
no,
Yeah. Okay. So who knows what the window we're looking at for this is? I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if Bethesda turned around and pulled the same stuff they did with Skyrim and have it come out later in the year. They've done that before. I wouldn't put it past them to do it again, but bottom line is there's plenty of time. And it's one of those things where I think everybody in this generation really needs to be patient and wait and don't immediately hop on the hype train. I mean, this game, yes, a lot of people will, and I understand that wholly and completely, but give it some time. I wouldn't pre-order anything until we've had more or seen more of it, had an opportunity to spend time with it, until the press has gotten a hold of it, until people know what this is all about. You can't just get excited about a franchise anymore. You've got to be patient, I guess. That's ultimately where I'm at with it. But
yeah.
yes, part of me is excited. I To be fair, I knew this was coming though. I've been saying that this was coming on this cast for like a month.
Well, to be fair, the entire internet has said this for like months. Well, not
Yeah,
months, for a
yeah.
while.
I will admit I was surprised about Boston. I know like there was all
Boston.
the there was all the stuff, oh, Bethesda photographers are in Boston, blah blah blah. But they really did a good job
Hmm.
of deterring people from believing that, because they came out with all those statements saying, "Oh, we're just chilling, like we're just here taking random pictures and blah blah blah." And they did a pretty good job. Their PR team handled that pretty well. That rumor kind of came and went, and so to find out that that's actually the case is interesting. Um,
I know they kind of did the same thing with Vegas
Well,
and
at least
DC. It was
they
kind of
didn't
like
end up in
writing.
jail like the DayZ guys.
what?
Do you
Well,
remember
yeah,
that? Like
yeah, but
last
that was
year,
on like
2 years
some
ago?
where was that? That was like
That's like
fucking
Italy or something, right? Or
some
Greece, maybe? Like
I don't
a
know. I think it
team
was
of
like
those guys went
some
out there to
Eastern
take
European
pictures.
country that none of us can pronounce or some shit like
No,
that.
it was like it was like some weird like EU country that was like, "You're here spying on our castles. Send them to jail."
Get
Yeah, that
get
was
out of here!
that was
How
a while
dare
ago.
you spy on our castles?
That did happen.
Well,
But Bethesda did the same thing with the DC New Vegas, so I pretty much just took it as all right. They're doing it in Boston, and everyone's
Bastin,
Boston.
Bastin. Yeah.
Uh, I'm okay with the location though. Like as someone who's fucking way into Fallout, and I was really like when Fallout 3 came out, I was really happy it was in DC because the first 4 games in the Fallout series took place in like California and like the
Well,
West Coast and that general area.
I mean, it's definitely rich with
Hmm.
history. I think it's got a lot of potential. I really love the location. I think it's great.
It's kind of unventured territory for the Fallout universe as far as like people that have really played the games know too. That's just an
Yeah,
area of the country that like doesn't and as far as the lore goes, like you didn't read up much about Boston like throughout the Fallout games, so it's gonna be kind of interesting to see the little quirks and stuff that goes on with the local populace.
absolutely. I will say that, and we discussed this for a little bit earlier. I will say the one thing that's kind of throwing me off about the trailer is its emphasis on pre-war stuff. There's a lot of that trailer that shows pre-war footage, which makes me wonder what's going on. Like this is he's you're playing a character that looks like they might have memories of what took place before.
The
Um,
before time.
yeah, before the launch. Because if I understand correctly, Vault 111 is one of the ones that was cryogenically frozen. So you're playing as a character that's awoken from that freeze, rather than somebody who's been a generational ancestor of the Vault and is setting out for the first time in this world. You're playing as somebody who has these memories. So I'm wondering like what the game is going to do to touch upon that, how it's going to kind of like explore the world before the before the war,
I think you're
the
just
1 day
reading.
fucking war. But like, dude, like honestly, like, and I might be reading a little too deep into it, but there was a good portion of that trailer that had to do with pre-war stuff, a good
Well,
portion of
it's
it, and I don't know that they would dedicate that much time uh, to a trailer that's supposed to generate hype for a game uh, without it being meaningful. You know what I mean? Like,
Hmm.
that's exactly what they did with the 1 and 2 though. They had like the pre-war like life before and then everyone going into the vault and the safe haven thing. It's basically just the same goddamn thing. So as someone who is just really familiar with 1 and 2, that's exactly how the first games did it. I don't know if they were actually the trailers, just the intro movies, but that's exactly what it was. It was just
Hmm.
stupid, middle America families going to the vaults and trying to survive. And I mean, obviously it was a little different with this trailer because it was panning back and forth. And I'm pretty sure that Fallout 1 did that too, but it didn't go on as long, and there were just little differences. But I don't know. I think that might be something you might just be reading way too much into, or you could very well be right. It could be some cryo bullshit or some type of weird shit or something on a flash drive. I don't fucking
well,
know. It's all speculation at this point.
well,
Simulation,
The
obviously.
simulation, yeah.
Guillermo del Toro's team put this trailer together, right? Is that what I understand
I
from
have no
everything
idea.
Hmm.
that's been going on? Like, I don't know if they're doing like a separate live action trailer or if they put this trailer together for the launch. But I know that like there were all those rumors that were flying around that like his team was contacted and that they were doing like some pre-release stuff for the game. So like I said, I don't know if it's because they're gonna get ready to do a live action trailer or something like that, but I feel like, especially if you look at it from that perspective, like a team that focuses mainly on film would want to focus on stuff like foreshadowing and like past stuff, and I feel like they wouldn't put that in the trailer unless there had some more importance to it. But I could be just totally tooting my own horn here and full of shit. But we'll see. Time will tell. Time will tell. It looks really interesting. I'm hoping it turns out to be as awesome as I want it to be.
No, nothing's ever as awesome as we want it to be. If it
That's
turns out
that's
half
not
as
true.
awesome. Half as awesome. I'm good with that.
But yes, very excited. Super. Yeah, I wish they would have held it off until E3, but honestly, there's no way that would have made it through E3 without leaking. Like the pre-E3 setup, like getting all those teams together, somebody somewhere would have leaked a photo of that before it happened. So I can understand that they wanted to get the jump on it, but I feel like it would have been so much more poignant if they just did in the middle of their conference. Oh, and one more thing, and then just showed that trailer. People would have fucking flipped the shit.
Like they did with Final Fantasy 13. Mother Christ. What
so
a fucking disappointing game.
so I mean, I can understand they needed to nip it in the bud and get to it before anybody else could leak any of it, but would have been a lot more poignant, I think, if they would have waited until D3. Granted, it was like the top like 6 posts on Reddit today were all about Fallout 4, so
Really?
I guess like, somewhere somehow somebody really.
Twitter was a couple, like 3 of the top hashtags were all about Fallout 2, so
Yeah,
they got what they wanted.
Yeah, I mean, no
I
matter
got it.
what, when they release a trailer like that, it's gonna generate buzz. But yeah, I don't know. I still stand by my previous statements. Bethesda has pretty much single-handedly won E3. Just all they need to do is show a little more Doom and some gameplay footage for Fallout 4, and bam, they still win E3.
That's like being king of the turd hill, though. I don't know,
Hey.
I've never. E3 is kind of shit. It's always kind of been in late fuck, I cannot talk. In late years, it's been kind of shit anyway.
Hmm.
Either game, it's just bullshit system stuff with 2013 and last year, just a bunch of shit that never really came to fruition. So I don't really pay much credence to E3, but that doesn't mean I can't get excited or give a shit about games that are announced there or shit that comes out there. But
And do you follow
grain
any
of
like
salt.
PC like conventions? Like was it Computathon or whatever nerdy shit is going on right now?
I have no idea
Or
what the
like
fuck you're talking
PC
about.
manufacturers are hyping up their products
Oh
and
yeah, I
this and
got an
stuff?
email from AMD saying, "Oh, be prepared, clench your anuses, boys. The new GPUs are right around the corner."
Holy crap.
Yeah, I am aware of what you're talking about, but yeah, I don't know, dude. Like, I don't
I'm
really get.
excited for that overclocking competition that's coming up soon.
Who the fuck gets excited for an overclock competition?
Oh yeah. You know,
Jose, just anime girls and overclocking competitions are the only thing that get his dick hard anymore.
yeah, I'm so jaded and cynical and gone.
Yeah, absolutely.
But I did find out that there's a speculation that it's the cinematic was made by his studio. Like I guess that the reveal trailer, but I don't think it's been confirmed. Just a lot of like hard evidence.
Yeah, so, but like, that lends credence to my statement that they wouldn't put, if that studio is responsible for that trailer, then they wouldn't put it in there for no reason.
Yeah, I mean, even if it wasn't them, I think that's like a hook, like a thing that's just valuable to stories. I don't think.
Or just to
I
call
think
that
you're
the
right.
first game.
Yeah, that could be it too. But
Or it could be
I
both.
think it's probably why not? ¿Por qué no los dos?
¿Dónde
Exactly.
está la biblioteca?
Yeah, man.
Exactly, like that Taco Shell commercial.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, I think we got all we're gonna get out of that. Speaking of things that makes Jose all giddy, he has been all up in chivalry, medieval warfare as of late, due to the Community Fest weekend thing that happened last weekend, which is basically just a bunch of community maps that some of them have been around for over a year, got compiled into official servers, and there were servers to play them on before, but now there are official servers to play them on now.
Woo!
I think there's a couple of newer ones that I hadn't fucked around with. I haven't even played on. I think there was 10 maps. So I haven't even had time to play on all of them. But Jose, you've been going pretty ham at it. What are your impressions? Are you happy with the muffin hat that you got for joining the Steam group? That's the real question I want to ask you.
Absolutely, because you know I've never had a reason to go into third person in that game. It's much more like visceral and fun, first person slicing people's heads off. But the muffin hat gave me a chance to experience the game completely differently. And it's just as fun. In fact, it might be a little more fun because you can actually see things, in a wider
Yeah,
range.
Once I realized there was a third person in that game, I never looked back.
Yeah, and so I mean that's new and that's cool. It makes me live a lot longer in modded servers like horde mode stuff. But like you said, we've seen these maps before, at least half of them, and I didn't notice it because uh, I only ever played as one faction, and like the order always seems to be defending for whatever reason in like objective maps. So I could see like both sides of like the map that I'd seen before, then some of the new ones. But I mean, that was all pretty exciting. But it just made me get back into chivalry because while I tried out those maps, uh, what really got me into it was all the interesting like workshop stuff that's been happening, like all these weapons and armors and maps and mods for the game that
You've been
didn't
on
really
Horde
exist.
lately. You've been
Yeah,
on a
or like
lot of
just
Horde.
rudimentary versions of it. But yeah, I've been playing like crazy horde mode, which is just you and a bunch of dudes defending a point.
Is it one of those things where it's just like it never ends? Like you just kind of have to defend as long as you can, or is there like
Kind
a
of.
certain amount of waves?
I
Well,
think,
there's a couple of different types now. Like the one type they put out last October is just one of like 4 now that they have available. So each one kind of has its own quirks and
yeah, that's
systems.
true.
Okay.
Like the one I've been going ham on is one where you have to defend points, and then when those get taken over, you fall back to like the inner keep of a castle, and then when that gets knocked down, you have to defend like the main room. Um, it's nothing crazy. It's very much like Shiv objective mode, where it's just a bunch of NPCs on the other team essentially,
See,
but then they send waves and waves.
I feel like I'd be able to get behind that a little more than the PvP stuff, just because like the Shiv to me is always like it seems like a fun game, but I don't care to put enough time into
Mhm.
it to get good. And it's one of those situations where it's like it is with depth, like at a certain point, like the only people left playing that game are the ones who are good at it. And every time I pop on, it's just I get my ass handed to me, and I'm just like, well, I'm
Mhm.
done with this. But yeah, in a horde mode, I wouldn't necessarily have that issue. So
Yeah, I mean the
I
one
wouldn't mind jumping in on some horde at some point. I'd give that a shot.
yeah the one cool thing about Shiv though is that um the very there's 5 like official servers that cater only to like low level characters, so that no one who's a fucking Shiv guy can like jump on and kill
Yeah,
you.
it's rank 0 to
It's like
15.
blocked. Yeah. So like it's like really fair because I mean you just look for those servers and
Yeah, I didn't know
you're
that was
matched
a
up with
thing.
other people.
I've always
But
just
once
jumped
you leave
into
that,
games with like stupid high ranked people
yeah,
that just like immediately decapitate me and I stand no chance and
exactly.
like
They
that
do a
just
free
drives me
weekend
crazy.
they do a free weekend like once every couple months, and that's always fun to hop on just because people that don't even own the game just fucking Nubcake City getting
And
slaughtered.
one thing I don't like about the community is that it's maybe it's just like the servers, but these are like official servers or like popular servers. Everyone complains about like the new players when the free weekend comes by. Like I guess they only want to dominate in games. Like they can't comprehend that a new person would join the game and like need help.
That's my problem with
It's
it.
it's
Thing
super
is, Shiv's
annoying.
got a big enough community where it's not like depth. Like it's got a big enough community where there are
Yeah,
thousands of people on at any given time, so it can get away with shit like that. Whereas, like
yeah,
more indie-based more smaller independent
yeah.
games can't.
I can see that, but it's you know expect that if you hop on the game during any free weekend or free or an event, I guess.
And it's got enough different modes and like the horde, like the PVE types that there's kind of something for everyone. Like you're not kind of you don't have to only play PvP, or you don't have to only do this or play this certain mode. There's enough people on where you can play pretty much any goddamn thing at any time of the day or night.
Yeah, and the classes that you can choose from are, they vary quite a bit. So you can always try something new, get better at one thing, and then hop on to something else. And there's no real restrictions on how many of a class can be on a team,
There are
which
no
is cool.
restrictions.
Yeah, I mean, I've seen plenty of servers that say like no archers,
Yeah, sometimes
no
server
bullshit,
rules.
but it's usually not the case.
It's always kind of confusing to see a team with 8 archers and 2 knights just try to do something.
Yeah, it's horde mode, like the crypt or the castle one I was just talking about. They really the game better. I think.
Yeah.
Like that's better than any tutorial or any like workshop mod that teaches you how to play the game. Because at one, it gets progressively harder. Like every round, it increases the baddies, exponentially. But they have the same weird. I guess they programmed in the weird tricks that players use in game, like the overhand 180 crouch thing. That's an insta
Yeah.
kill. A lot of like I've played on a few.
What? You have to crouch and then do a 180 and like.
There's a few stupid ways to get that world. Not very viable anymore, but at times there's stupid ways to like get easy kills in that game.
It's still pretty viable. Like if there's a few tricks, like moving your mouse a certain way as you swing to either delay or make your swing go faster. Like a seasoned player would know to like slow down their swing so that you miss your block and then follow up their attack with a weird move, like a combo essentially, that makes you swing overhand. So that what it does is like it launches your weapon automatically behind you, for an overhand swing. But then they take advantage of that by like turning around and crouching so that the sword is actually at your like chest level.
Yeah,
and so it's like an insta hit, and overhand strikes are a little more powerful. So it's bullshit when you get killed by one of those things because like, I thought we were beyond that, but that's still very alive and well and used in the game. So
well,
but
I guess we'll have that to look forward to.
Aside from that,
you had a good point about Horde improving your skill set. Like you've seen it firsthand. I've gotten in the playing the Crypts map. You kind of run the enemy around a lot and just you're very careful and kind of pick them off one at a time. I kind of bring that strategy into PvE, but what I do is I like serpentine in between the enemy, and half the time they're just idiots and swing and they'll just kill themselves while I just run away and I spam the laugh button, and it makes them really mad. It's like Techies, but in Chivalry. It's pretty fun. Except without the landmines. But yeah, you can just spam laugh and get them to kill each other if you know what you're doing. It's pretty great.
Yeah. And playing with less players, it makes you very conscious of how you engage the enemy with people around you. Because, when I started off, I got nothing but team kills. I got more team kills than fucking, like, other players or like just.
I remember.
Yeah, so.
It's terrible.
Yeah, it's the best training tool for that game. In fact, I suggest if you pick that game up to only try out the Crypt Horde mode or the other Horde modes before you hop onto the game, because it's. I joke about not playing tutorials, not like tutorials, but I feel like that's a neat way to learn the game without it insulting you by saying press this button to do this, or do this obvious thing to do this obvious thing.
It's kind of the same vein as Dota. Like there's a tutorial system, but like you don't really know what the fuck's going on until you start playing a few games. It's kind of the same thing. Just hop in the Horde mode, and you kind of get a feel for the game and the physics and everything.
And the ways you describe Dota, there's like ranked and then not ranked, which is probably something I would get into. Damned if I'll play this fucking tutorial for a MOBA. My intelligence.
Yeah,
I'm not happy.
It's vast. All right, we've rambled on about shit for long enough. Let's hop into something we all know. The GOG sale is happening. It's going on for like 20 fucking days, or 18. Jesus Christ. It's a little different because the past year, a lot of their sales, they do like these weird flash things where they have a bunch of shit on sale, and then like every 20 minutes
Oh,
they'll switch
that's
something up, or like they'll have 200 keys for this game. Once that runs out, it goes to the next one. This one's a little bit more easygoing, and there's daily bundles, new sales every 12 hours, and a
Yeah,
couple
they
free
took
games.
they took the Steam model.
Yeah, pretty much every 12 hours, and then I like the bundles though. I wish Steam would go back to doing that. But yeah, they got. I mean, it was cool that they were like you could pop on GOG at 4 in the morning and you catch a sale, but it's more often than not you would just miss shit that you would want that would go on sale for pennies, but you didn't get it because there were only 20 keys available, and they went
Yeah,
in like half a second.
yeah,
That was kind of annoying. So I'm okay with the new system.
yeah. I'm actually I'm really digging it. Some of the prices they've had to have just been bonkers,
Yeah,
just bonkers.
yeah.
Yeah, there's a few that I'm eyeing. I'm still on the fence about. I might pick up Banner Saga. I might pick up well, I don't know. I can't remember the name off the top of my head. But yeah, dude, there's been crazy deals on there, and honestly, like, I'm totally okay. Like, I've been playing a lot of shit on GOG Galaxy
Yeah, I've
lately,
kind of
man.
slowly migrated over there as well.
I've been playing a lot of things on that, man.
Anything aside from Blood?
Yeah, I've been playing Blood 2.
Blood 2. Fair enough. It counts, man.
It's awful.
Is it?
Yeah, dude, it's horrible.
I've been
I
debating picking that up because
wait,
I have the
what?
first.
What
it's
is Galaxy? What are you guys talking about?
You seriously have no idea what we're talking about?
oh god.
Oh yeah, you were
Well,
like
yeah,
dead for a while.
you've
That's
been
right.
dead for a while. So
Yeah.
GOG Galaxies, they're like well, it's their
Optional.
platform, optional
Optional
platform.
client.
Uh,
Mm-hmm.
and you can just have all your games running through GOG Galaxy. It's really great because you have your entire library like wherever you go, and there's no DRM on any of this stuff. So like, I don't know, if for
Turn it
some
off.
reason, yeah, if for some reason you were at a friend's house or something and wanted to play a game on their PC, you could, I guess. But
Hmm.
yeah, dude,
Most importantly, it's a stable client in
yeah.
early beta, so that's a thing.
There's still like a lot of features it needs to implement, but GOG just they there's something special
I think they
about
implemented
it.
the friends lists already.
Did they?
I think so.
You gotta get on
I
that.
think you can start sending friend requests and stuff, but they're gonna have achievements, other features coming. But it's a stable client in beta, and like being on Steam for so long, you forget how wonderful that is. That you don't just get fucking outages for 20 minutes at a
Well,
time.
you just said that they still need to add a bunch of features.
I wouldn't
Yeah,
say a
When those
bunch, just a few.
features add bugs and instability.
no, I haven't run into any bugs actually.
Me neither.
The only thing, and I wouldn't even really consider it a bug. The only thing is like when you log out of a game from GOG, it takes forever for it to update the game time.
Yeah,
Um,
and that's really like
but that's
bitching
really
about that in
yeah.
a beta of a client. Like,
That's really the only thing that I can think
yeah,
of that's really a honestly I don't know why it's such a big deal to me. Like it pisses me off though that I have to wait for that. Um,
yeah. Remember, I brought it up with Corbin. He was just like, "What's the big deal?" You don't understand, dude. Like, I need to know exactly how much of my life I've wasted on certain games. Like,
yeah,
I
but
need to know immediately.
but hold on, real talk for a second. Let's talk about Blood 2.
Isn't
Real
that
quick,
wasn't it like same
real quick.
developers came out like a year after Blood? Like, wasn't it right in that whole time
It
frame?
came out like right before. It was kind of well, from what I understand, it was kind of like it came out in the shadow of like Hexen and stuff, or Hexen 2, and like some other like big shooters came out that year.
Just that
Um,
era of like doomy kind of
yeah,
shooters.
yeah, like this was like 2000, so it was really polygonal looking. You know, they had gone over to like OpenGL instead of doing it through like DOS prompts and stuff. But yeah, dude, I don't know. It doesn't look particularly good, but there's something charming about playing a game from the early 2000s that just looks like shit. Uh, and yeah, dude, it's just really it doesn't have the same flow. It's not nearly as gory, and that just that really takes away from it, dude. Because like that game's called Blood for a reason. Like you were covered in the stuff by the time you took on your first enemy. Um,
Dragon Age style.
yeah, exactly. And so I don't know, like it's over the top. I'm like determined to finish it just because I love first one so much.
You do.
But
That is the thing.
it is it's getting tough. It's getting tough, man. I think I'm like in the fourth stage. And from what I understand, there's like 20 more to go.
Good luck, have fun.
So yeah, I don't know, man. We'll see. I put about 4 hours into it. I jumped back into. Oh, never mind.
Do you have any idea how long the game is? What's it?
I think there's like 24 or 25 stages, but I don't know how long that will take to beat. It's taken me about an hour a stage so far because the layouts are pretty wacky. They're I don't know, they're awful. The level layouts are awful. And everything like texturally, like it all looks the same. There's not like a lot of variation, so it's easy to get lost. But yeah, I don't know. It's fun still somehow. It is. I don't know how we got onto this for so long. Oh yeah, GOG sale.
GOG, bud. No. Have you actually picked anything up yet?
No.
Or are you just eyeing stuff?
I'm just eyeing stuff. Like I was also looking at. Hold on. What is it?
Rex Nebula?
Super Time Force Ultra, bro. I was looking at that.
Super Time Force Ultra.
Yeah, I was looking at that. I've been eyeing that game for a while. But just don't 50%. I think I need to see like 75 on that before I'll pick that up.
No, the highlight of this sale is just a lot of older stuff that like isn't on Steam or I guess.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
But there's a lot of just like good old games that are like $1.50 right now, and are gonna continue to be for like fucking weeks.
Yeah.
Weeks.
Arcanum is only $1.50. Like if you haven't played that game, like that's just silly. The Mountain Blade games are $2.50.
$2.50.
Yeah, that's
Vampire the Masquerade, the first PC game for that's only $1.50 right now.
Redemption,
yeah.
that was a really good fucking game.
Jesus, language.
That was like an amazing game.
It was definitely a cool game with the whole
the Vampire the Masquerade one?
Yeah, not Bloodlines. It came out like 4 years before.
Oh, it's $1.50. You have told me about this game
before.
It's
like it's cool. You like travel throughout the ages like a fucking vampire. At one point, you got a cloak and a sword. Another point, you got a submachine gun pointed at you. It's just, I mean, obviously, graphically, it doesn't really hold up. But Vampire Universe, the Werewolf
I guess
Vampire,
it wouldn't. That game came out
2000,
a million years ago.
Yeah, it doesn't look great. But if you're a fan of I
remember it looking great.
It's fantastic. Yeah. If you played it back in the day, it was fucking amazing. But if you play it 2015 with no real,
actually, these graphics are about on par with Blood 2.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's about the same. Yeah. Pretty much.
Well, from what you described, I think the Vampire game has a bit more substance behind it.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, just a lot of cool older games like that. Some of
I
which
would like to
on Steam.
suggest a game.
Please do.
Jade Empire.
Old Bioware.
Yeah, dude.
Actually, I don't think I own that on Steam. I might pick that up. Was it like $3?
I don't think I own it on Steam either. And I think I'll always respect GOG for picking up Rex Nebular first. Like before Steam, before other like fake Russian.
Have you guys played the
AMP
Gabriel
websites.
Knight games?
Those are like
no.
RPGs.
I don't know what they are, but there's like 4 of them on here, and they're only $1.50.
If they're
Isn't it
isometric
like
RPGs, I might have fucked with them back in the day.
Yeah, they seem to be like adventure games actually.
No, well then probably not.
Isn't that
Yeah,
like a supernatural, like romantic novel series?
Oh yeah, I might be
Is that what this
else.
is?
Yeah, I think I'm
Right?
thinking of something else. That's not a top-down isometric game at all.
Oh yeah, but Sensible World of
I could be
Soccer
wrong.
96, 97, always you got to pick that up. It's one of the greatest games of all time. Sensible World of Soccer. Remember that. viewers.
Wizardry. There's 8 of
That's
them.
your $1.50 right there. If you only have $1.50 to spend on a game at all this year, make sure you pick up Sensible Soccer 96, 97.
Dungeon
Just
Keeper?
legit.
Dungeon Keeper!
Yeah, dude. They actually just patched Dungeon Keeper 2 Also,
Dungeon
uh,
Keeper 2?
yeah, so it works like flawlessly now, apparently. So I really have to get back into that.
That's why
Reinstall that
people have
shit.
like loved GOG over the years because they fucking patch like 20-year-old games because the
Oh,
best.
shit. Awesome.
I'm sure even Rex Nebular saw a patch at some point between
Rex
launch.
Nibiru.
That's one thing I don't understand about Rex Nebular. It's essentially like abandonware. How are they charging people for it when, the original creators don't exist anymore,
They get
kind of,
just got bought and
and
sold to
they
some other
give
company
away
and
a game for free forever?
went to some company and GOG became a thing.
Yeah, man.
You'd be
Mhm.
surprised how many like freeware games just stop being freeware or just end up on the site and still remain freeware and they still sell.
You're
Well,
not
maybe not
bought
the
it.
same version, but like a
Yeah, does,
different
ev-
version.
does
Yeah.
everybody remember when Doom, like 1, 2, and Wolfenstein 3D were free games? Does anybody remember
You can
that?
still get them. You can play them in a fucking web browser.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, I knew
but
you
you can
could
buy
play
them.
Wolfenstein. I didn't know you could play Doom 1 and 2, though.
I don't
Can
know.
you
I've
really?
I've definitely played Doom 1 in a web browser at some point in the recent years, or just saw it on Reddit and dicked around with it for a minute. But they're Doom and Wolfenstein, so you don't mind, paying $1 for it when they go on sale. So, whatever.
Yeah. I keep all Doom on. I can fuck around with that like ultra violent mod. Yeah, I keep
Brutal,
forgetting to do
brutal,
that. Brutal Doom. That's it.
brutal Doom.
Brutal
Yeah.
Doom. Yeah. Yeah. There's a bunch of really great shit on this sale. So make sure your people are keeping an eye on it and give GOG a shot.
And it's going on for weeks, as we pointed out. So if nothing's on sale that you like today, just fucking try back tomorrow or throughout the next 18 days that it's on.
Sensible World of Soccer, guys.
VR Soccer
Pick it up.
97 for life.
697. Sensible World of Soccer.
Let's talk about something that came out this fucking century, or coming out.
All right.
XCOM 2 got
Yeah.
announced. Very Shadowrunny looking trailer, by the way. Just want to get that out there right off the bat.
Yeah, I picked up on that too.
But I'm still cool with it. It looked fucking great.
I did.
Yeah, Palmer, you played a lot of XCOM, didn't you? I remember
Yeah,
you.
man, I
I think
love.
you were one of the ones that talked me
Served
into
me
it.
some XCOM.
Yeah.
I've tried to get you to play multiplayer with me like a bunch of times.
We
We
did
did that
once.
one time,
And it was a clusterfuck, so I thought against it for future. I still need to play Enemy Within. I've beat the base game, but I haven't played through the expansion.
oh, dude, that
With like
expansion's
the
killer,
with the
man.
mechs and shit.
It's
and,
killer, dude. Some of the
yeah.
upgrades you can do are really good. It felt like the base game, the original one. It just added some features that were in that.
I got really excited for it because I remember you were playing through it when it came out, and you're like, "Dude, I just ripped off your arms and gave you robot arms,
Yeah,
and now you have like 20 strength." And I was like, "That's awesome!"
Yeah, man, that expansion was a lot of fun. It added a lot of really cool stuff. Um, yeah, I'm looking forward to it, man. I'm pretty sure that's gonna be a good one.
Yeah.
I don't know that they'll be able to really go wrong unless they like fuck something up big time with
They'd have to
DRM or
fuck something
something.
up really big time, like DRM. It's no longer turn-based; it's actually a third-person. They'd have to really fuck it up in order to
Yeah.
execute. Like
Didn't they
even
come out with a shooter?
yeah, I was about to say even the enemy
No,
bureau.
it wasn't. It wasn't. Was it Praxis that made that one though? I thought it was somebody else, like a different.
It might have been. It was still
'Cause
decent though. Like it was fun. It was very Mass Effect cover shooty game type. When
wasn't the shooter one? Wasn't that like an Activision?
was it? The Bureau. That's what it was called. But
I don't know. Maybe.
it wasn't terrible.
Jose, fact check that for me.
But it'd be kind of hard to fuck XCOM,
Enhance.
honestly. And I'm kind of curious to see what kind of new shit they bring. I just assume since it's been so many years they'll add a few new things in, or maybe a few gameplay tweaks to kind of
Okay.
change things up, which they don't even have to do. I mean, just the basic.
I just want them
turn-based
to
formula.
improve the multiplayer because I want to play that shit like so
I
badly
find
against
co-op
other
mode
people.
with that, like a horde type of mode, or like an objective type of mode where you have to like take a position or something. I'd really like to see that in XCOM.
Yeah, that could be pretty cool actually.
I mean, the
Player
multiplayer is
takes a turn.
alright.
The game was developed by 2K Marin.
Oh, 2K, that's it, 2K.
Yeah. It was still decent though. Honestly, I don't know if it was full price at release decent, but it was definitely get it on sale decent.
So I haven't played the remake XCOM, but I played the shit out of the originals.
Yeah, dude.
So by the content from the trailer that was released, is it safe to say that you lose at the end? Like spoilers, I guess. Like, is that how the game ends? Like you, because
Oh,
the
you're talking
trailers
about.
show that 20 years later we got our asses stomped by the aliens. So at the end of XCOM,
It ends
does that happen?
ominously. It ends
So it
ominously,
okay.
but
So
it doesn't really
okay.
like. I guess that's just where they kind of went with it. It ends on ominously though. Like it's not like a happy ending. Uh,
Hmm.
but like it also kind of depends on like how well you do, because like you know I've beaten the game not on like the hardest difficulties, but on like normal mode where you can save and stuff without losing anybody.
Fuck that Iron Man bullshit. Fuck
Yeah,
that right mouth.
yeah, that shit's. See, and like I could have sworn at some point you told me that you had beaten it on
I
Iron
remember
Man.
you thinking, I no, fuck that, no.
You could have sworn, and I was like, "Holy shit! All right, well, Tim got into it." I tried Iron Man, man, and that is just it's too unforgiving. It takes the enjoyment out of it, I think.
A couple bad rolls and you're just done. Like
Yeah,
it's one of
yeah.
those games.
Uh, it's fucked. It is fucked. But yeah, I'm pretty excited for this. Um, I hope they keep everything that they incorporated with the expansion and just build out. You know, like
Yeah.
um, it would. You know, honestly, like I I hopped on it on when the trailer came out, just to kind of like give it a run through and see if it's still like held up as well as it did in my head. Um, and yeah, I mean like graphically that game still looks pretty damn good. Like it's not like amazing, but all they'd have to really do is just make the graphics just a little bit better. Make sure they keep everything that they had with the expansion and just build upon it. And I would be happy with that as a XCOM 2. I'd be cool with it. I just want more because like the big difference between this one versus the original XCOM is the amount of stuff that you have to micromanage and keep track of. They really like distilled it in the re-release. Um, but they did it so it's like easier to access, I guess easier to maintain, but still like poses to be a challenge like when playing it on harder difficulty. Um, but it's just not as complex. So I'd like to see that sequel get a little more complex, add some more layers to it, and kind of yeah, like I said, just build upon what they've already started. If they do that, it'll be awesome to play it. Really looking forward to that game.
Yeah, the base foundation of it's fun to play, but yeah, I'm right there with you. I wouldn't mind something to kind of add to it, but I also, in the same hand, don't want them to fuck up the original type of flow. But it would be nice if they added some type of thing instead of just a new graphics engine.
Yeah, 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 absolutely.
Speaking of new graphics engine, ODST came out for Halo finally, which was weird because it just came out at 4 in the morning, just out of nowhere. There was no build up, no hype
Wasn't
behind
there
it.
So
didn't
midnight West Coast.
what's his name? Didn't Major Nelson say like announce a date on his Twitter account that was coming out? But like that was really all that was said about it.
Not that I'm aware of. I was literally just scrolling through Reddit because I was like, oh, I should probably go to bed soon because it's 4 in the fucking morning. And then just Halo, 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 and check my Xbox code, and they sent me the code. It was just really, really weird. I remember messaging you like I just really Halo ODST just released at 4 in the morning, and I don't know why, but
Huh.
it did.
Huh. Did you play it?
I've been playing through it. One small gripe, not really an issue, but it kind of annoys me. With all the other Halo games, I don't know if Halo 4, but with the first 3 Halo games, you hit the back button on your Xbox controller, it reverts it back to the original graphics style. Which I love fucking doing that with the Anniversary. Just watching the textures turn just shit to this glorious kind. Well, not really glorious, but decent looking thing. But ODST doesn't have that, so it's just a small little gripe. But you can definitely notice the picture's much sharper with the resolution being upped, and It's just fun to play through because it's not like the other Halo games. You're not this, walking death machine. You're just an ODST with shields and very, 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 very little health that can get
Yeah.
overwhelmed by like a handful of grunts and a brute.
I mean, like, I really did enjoy the single player. The horde mode, man, just the memories, the fucking memories in that, man. Firefight was the best. Firefight was the fucking best, dude.
I mean, I guess it's possible they'll do Reach, but it's really depressing knowing that if they did do Reach, they're definitely not doing Firefight, because I thought that was the pinnacle of it. Because it just took everything from ODST and built upon it. It was fucking great. But even if they do release Reach, which I really hope they do, I really doubt they'll release Firefight with it, which kind of upsets me. Because goddamn it, that was fun.
Yeah, I really don't think they will either, to be honest. But it's a pipe dream.
You can have those.
Fever dream.
Yeah, man.
One thing that surprised me with that whole thing, I think if that's mid-December. If you played Halo: The Master Chief Collection before mid-December, Xbox sent you a code and you get it for free. And both me and Palmer just assumed that it would be like $20 if you weren't like an early adapter or an early player, but it's only going to be $5. That really, considering it's just Microsoft and 343 and just these fucking big companies doing this, I was really shocked to find out that ODST will only be $5 if like you go pick up the Master Chief Collection today.
Is that limited time, or is that the price that they've set?
That's just the price. I thought that was really weird. I mean, good on them, but I was really shocked to find out that was that cheap.
Maybe ODST was supposed to be packaged with Master Chief Collection.
No,
I don't think it was ever
like
supposed to come with it. Yeah, no. I don't think it was ever supposed to. In fact, there was speculation that Reach might have been packaged with it.
It would make more sense because it has much more to do with Master Chief than ODST did, but
yeah, I don't think it was ever supposed to come out with it. I think there was like a lot of clamoring of fans that they listened to remaster that one also, but like
they had to do something to quell the backlash.
Yeah, and I think that's part of the reason that they probably set it at a $5 price point, because of the fact that they had to.
Yeah.
They
still have a broken game.
Yeah. Yeah.
Is it still?
I don't know.
It works a lot better now. From what I understand, like your chances of getting dropped from games and stuff are really, really low now.
I thought you were gonna say chances of you finding a game are fucking nil.
No, like you can find games pretty easily. From what I understand, it's just like you're less like Tim and I would try to play as a party, and he'd get put into one game and I'd get put into another, or he would drop from the game for some reason when we were trying to connect, or our fucking party chat wasn't working. Apparently they fixed the fucking party chat. Have you got any confirmation on that, Tim?
No, I haven't even touched the multiplayer. I've been playing through the single player stuff because we didn't even like really play through any of that shit.
Yeah.
But until I know that like everything just won't be fucky, I'm not really planning on it. Maybe I'll try it out just for the cast to see how it works. But I'm not terribly optimistic. But yeah, I do. I've been keeping up with the Halo subreddit from time to time. I check on there, and it does seem that things are slowly improving. But the fact that things are still slowly improving 7 months out from release is kind of.
I know Vasquez got an Xbox One. He said he has Master Chief Collection.
Oh, that kid plays its FIFA.
Yeah, that's.
Ginger Boy loves him some soccer.
I either see him on that or GTA. Those are the only 2 games I ever see him. Yeah, he said he has Master Chief Collection.
We should attempt to do. You mean?
See if we can party on that. But yeah, dude, get on them. Good price point. ODST is a good game. People should check it out. Please, Bungie, Firefight.
And reach Firefight. No bugs. I'm very happy to report. Like I was almost expecting like something to be fucked up. I played through 3 or 4 of the levels. No bugs whatsoever. No issues. Everything seems hunky dory, which I suppose they kind of had to do. Otherwise, it's like just someone would have burned down the fucking 343 building at this point. But it's good that at least that wasn't fucky.
Yeah.
I like to say.
Does it run with the same interface as the other games, or is it something new or something different?
No, it's pretty much exactly the same, just a higher resolution.
No, I meant kind of like what was that game? Was it Call of Duty? No, it was when there was like 3 military shooters that came out at the same time. It was Call of Duty, Battlefield, and a third one. Medal of Honor.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah, Mental
maybe
Line.
it came with like a separate multiplayer. Um, Remember, it was like you'd hit multiplayer, then it would be like Brooke, a new like developer logo, and then it sent you into like a different.
Yeah, that was
Um,
Medal of Honor.
okay, yeah. Is it something like that? Does it look shoehorned in, or does it match with the same aesthetic as the rest of the menus and all that other stuff
No, it's
from
all
Master
one
Chief?
it's all one seamless menu between all the games.
Okay.
You know, there's the campaign tab, multiplayer, Forge, and there's a
Yeah,
bunch
it's
of extra
all
shit. It's all
packaged into
as
one
far as the
menu.
layout goes, it's done right. Like you can get through everything very quickly, very easily. But no, it's nothing like that. And you're totally thinking of the first Medal of Honor. I think
Oh,
Frost, not Frost, it's the Frostbite engine, but I can't remember. Whoever did the multiplayer on that, I think did Bad Company 2, which is a lot of hype behind that. But that's a whole other story. Um, what else?
that
Steam
was
Brief.
Master Chief Collection was gonna get me to get an Xbox One. I was waiting for that forever,
Yeah,
and
I was
then
really excited to play it with Palmer, and then
man,
dicks, bags.
sucks to hear it's still kind of shitty, or kind of like a multiplayer
It
experience.
can't be as bad as it was like when we played it, though. So I guess you can
No,
take some
no,
solace in that.
it's apparently gotten a lot better. Apparently, like you really can play it for the most part now. It's rare that you get dropped. Apparently.
I'll check it out at some point in the next couple days, then, just to see how it, if I can do it properly.
Okay.
But see, I had a nice segue into shit going away, but we kind of fucking
Oh,
minutes behind
sorry.
on this. But Infinite Crisis, which is something we've talked about on the cast, is a DC Comics, DC Universe is in the comics MOBA, which is kind of interesting. It's going away in about a month.
That's just unbelievably shocking
It's
to me.
very quick. It's
I
like,
can't
yeah,
like what? I I
it just
understand.
didn't.
Like I played it. It was fun. It wasn't gonna pull me away from Dota, but there really isn't much that's going to. Like if Heroes of the Storm couldn't do it, nothing could really pull me away from Dota for right
Filthy
now.
cash.
This is just so shocking to me because like you're releasing a genre of game into a world that already has very established versions of that genre. You know, like
And it's
you're,
getting to the point where even these indie game companies that are coming out with MOBAs, it's just, the market's becoming cluttered with them. It's getting
yeah.
ridiculous.
But like the if you're looking for a huge player base right off the bat, you can't just expect it to happen that quickly. Like that game had a lot of potential. They released what like three new heroes since launch. Like
And a lot of skins and shit, little cosmetic stuff
a
like
lot of
that too.
skins. Like the store's layout seemed to be okay. Um, I didn't really explore a lot of the microtransactions at that point because I just wasn't super into it. Like it was one of those things where like if I had managed to get like Corbin and Tim to jump in on that, like I think we could have had some fun with that for a few nights. Um, that like is the market that they would be dealing with until somehow they managed to create a competitive scene behind it, and they didn't give it a chance to really take off. I guess they really needed to introduce something that was going to grab people. Like they really needed to throw in a character that everybody wanted. That would be something to get people to at least give it a shot.
I think
I
they were
didn't.
banking on a lot of comic book people like getting into the MOBA scene and getting into this game through that. Like just by name alone, I think they were expecting like a bigger player base and much more recognition.
Did I tell you I introduced that to a mutual friend of ours, Arash, and had he been employed at that point in time, I think he would have bought or built a computer just to be able to play it.
Well, that
Because
boy loves him some DC.
I live streamed it one time, and so he watched it, and he was like, "Yo, I want this so badly. Tell me how to build a computer." And he was like, "Oh wait, I can't. I'm broke. I don't have a
Tell me
job."
how to build a computer.
Yeah. And so, dude, how guilty would I have felt if I got him to build a computer just to play that game, and
The fucking
they
server
just
shut down.
yanked it away from him. Um, yeah, dude, I don't know. Shame on them, dude. they should continue to pioneer it, dude. It's backed by Warner Brothers. You guys have a decent amount of money. You can give it more of a shot than this. I
I
I
don't know.
don't
I think it would
know.
have been dead in under a year anyway. Honestly,
Well, honestly, part of me is kind of skeptical that this is just some sort of fucking marketing ploy because I think
some
it's generate.
ploy.
Yeah, I think it's generated more interest by doing this than it has by launching. And I think I watch there. It's another week's gonna go by and they're gonna be like, oh, players have expressed a lot of interest. We've decided that we're gonna continue this project going for the foreseeable future.
They're offering refunds on purchases though. That's
That's
the
like
only
the
thing that I would
first
have.
line
Yeah, I
in the
guess
press release.
that's true.
That's the like I'd be right there with you. That's the only thing I'm like I don't know. And I suppose feasibly they could just reverse or re-reverse or whatever the fuck you would do.
No, dude, just all right. We've given you a refund. We've decided to keep it up. Here's your money back, anyways, if you don't want to stay. Like, I don't know. It would get people to spend more money on it again. Get a little
I think people would be
invested.
hesitant just because the servers were about to shut down. Honestly, be hesitant to drop the money in there. Although if they did just refund
Yeah,
everything, I don't know. It's going away. It's the way of the dodo. It had potential. I like we talked about previously. A lot of the characters and the alternate universe characters were kind of cool, like the fucking steampunk
gee,
Batman,
yes, dude,
whatever.
he was fucking awesome, man.
Yeah, there were a lot of cool concept characters and shit like that. And the level design wasn't bad. The enemies were okay. It was a fun game, but it's just
Yeah.
I've got Dota, and if I don't play Dota or if I want to play another MOBA, I've got Smite. So it's you know,
Yeah.
and a dozen other MOBAs I have on my Steam account that I never touch.
Yeah, I did jump in, dude. Quests. Hold on, real quick. Quests in Heroes of the Storm have been stacking. Apparently, you can have more than 3. So like, I logged back on for the first time. I just had I have like 10 quests to complete that I'm just like knocking out, and it's just like a huge lump sum of gold that's hitting me. Uh,
I might actually log in just to see how many fucking quests I have waiting for me, and then never play the game.
um, but they have changed it a lot. Um, like specifically with like hero builds and the way heroes function. There's a lot more variety now. And there's they changed up a lot of things in at least the characters that I used to play, Rhaegar, and whatever the fuck the other Lyra. That's it. Um, their skill builds have changed completely, and apparently it seems to be the case for a lot of things. They've released like 2 new heroes. Uh,
I think they just released or they're going to release the female paladin. I think from Diablo 3.
yeah, she's coming soon. I mean, like, so give it a shot again, man. Like, even if you just play it for a little bit, it's improving. It's definitely improving. Seems like they're kind of honing in more on what they set out to do, which is really just make it constant combat.
I've kind of drifted away from that though. And it sounds kind of stupid to be like, oh, Hearthstone's a casual game. I prefer Dota. It's much more challenging. But like when I play Dota in recent months, all I really play is techies, and I like learn the hero. I learned to get good with the hero. I'm actually good with the hero now. I really worked on like improving my fucking skill status as a techies player. The idea of going back to Hearthstone, it doesn't really appeal to me. But I'm an idiot, so with the idea of stacking quests and the fact that I might be able to unlock a hero after playing for a couple hours, I'll get onto BattleNet and see what's up with all that. But it's just never gonna. You remember I was really fucking excited for it, and I never got the fucking beta invite until they started selling them, and then just once I finally got into it, it was just kind of meh.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
I don't know, but I do acknowledge it as it's a strong contender for the mobile market, and I think a lot of people would much rather play that than something like Dota or Smite, just because it's a little bit more easygoing. You don't have to worry about last hitting and shit like that. You can
Yeah.
like jungle as a team. There's just a lot of things in that game you can do. There's a lot of things you can do in Hero of the Storm that you can't do in other MOBAs.
I been spending a lot of time getting a comparison video done for like kind of how to choose the right MOBA for you if you've never played one before. So it's going to be like a 15, maybe 20-minute long video, kind of going over the little nuances between each one and kind of describing them and helping you figure out something that might be right for you if you decide you want to jump into that scene. So I'm looking to have that done by like probably Friday. Latest it'll be up by Monday.
So a
Be
couple
sure to
weeks
look
from
out
now.
for that. Nah, by Monday, latest.
Nice.
So yeah, keep a lookout for that. I think it'll help a lot of people kind of figure out what might appeal to them. Because I know it's kind of hard to just kind of jump into it, and especially if you're looking at stuff like Dota. Like a lot of people don't know about Smite. There's probably a bunch of people that don't know about Heroes of the Storm. So those might be more accessible entries for people.
But which MOBAs don't have a tutorial that Jose might actually play? That's the real question.
Well,
Which
you could
tutorial
just
doesn't
watch
crash
this.
it?
You could watch this video and kind of learn the concepts.
Blame your shitty rig for Smite crashing, Jose. I'm onto your shit.
But yeah,
That's right.
people should keep an eye out for that. That'll be up soon.
Nice.
And the whole Infinite Crisis thing kind of plays into some other big news that we've talked about previously, or at least refund policies. And Steam has changed their refund policy, which kind of out of the blue and pretty cool. It's what is it? Within a week, and if you put less than 2 hours into it, a week or 2 weeks, and if you put less than 2 hours into it, they'll pretty much just refund you right off the bat, no questions asked. Which is strange, considering Steam's refund policy for the past 5 years, and then all of a sudden they do this. But I guess they're trying to win back some hearts and minds after the whole mod fiasco thing. And this isn't a bad way to do it, honestly. It's nice to know that, you pick up some random early access game and it turns out to be complete fucking shit. You can get a refund for it now. Granted, you didn't put fucking 12 hours into it and then decided it was a piece of shit. Which is kind of
you can usually tell within the hour.
Yeah.
Like with Dan and that Robin Hood game.
I go back. Oh no, they said what, a 2-week maximum? Damn it. When they launch it.
Are you looking to shit the refund right now?
Yeah, dude. Because I bought so much shit that I've just played for like an hour and will never touch it.
The page said that they'd work with you to like figure out something else, like if you exceeded those limits. So, and I'm sure it's in their best interest to help you out with that too.
It's just very strange for Steam to be doing this all of a sudden.
Well, I mean, they need to do something.
They're going to kill
right?
us in our sleep.
After they got that, that weird Better Business Bureau thing that at the end like really didn't mean anything, but they did vow that they were going to do something to help with their customer service or make it better. So, I guess they're fulfilling that end of what they said.
Pretty sure the customer service is still dick.
Yeah. See, that's the thing. Like Steam doesn't do anything right when they first launch. Like Steam doesn't ever do it right when it first launches. Watch. I mean, this thing is gonna launch, and people are gonna have so many fucking problems doing this. That everybody's just gonna get really pissed off again. Like that's what's gonna happen. And then a month later, Steam will be like, oh, we'll do this and this and. Bottom line is it'll take like a year, and then it'll be up to snuff. Be prepared for that to happen.
They keep not doing anything, and Steam user base just keeps growing. It's just, they're just getting farther and farther behind with that shit.
Yeah. But maybe that's part of the problem, is that they've gotten too comfortable. Because Steam's user base keeps growing. They don't have to do anything new.
Alright, what else we got on this plates? New Killing Floor character, Jesus Christ, Killing Floor. Killer Instinct character, which is the final character for the second season. Ara? Some shit like that. Looks to be a boss type of character like they did with the first season with Shadow Django. But I don't know if you actually had to own the first season to unlock him or not. But the way it worked with him is basically you... I forget what it was. You do some particular thing as you progress through the game, and then like the last boss shows up and it's Shadow Django. You have to beat him. You unlock him. I'm guessing that's the way they're going to go with this character, but I could be entirely wrong. But yeah, just crazy Gundam bitch, Killer Instinct. Their character designs this season have been interesting to say the least. So
yeah, it is a very interesting character design.
Rock people to fucking fire people, just all sorts of people.
That's
like Japanese ghost people.
Japanese ghost people, that was a thing. That was probably the most what the fuck character out of the season. Just a Japanese ghost grudge bitch. It's actually really fun to play, but like takes years to master apparently.
Well, you know, that seems to just kind of be the case with fighting games and me these days.
That's true. Or just fucking any goddamn time period. You gotta press the buttons enough.
You're not paying to press.
No tokens.
No
No
tokens.
tokens to be had. Oh, last bit of news or interesting tidbit. I think Palmer, you brought this up to me. The Steam Summer Sale seems right around the corner,
Oh yeah.
and instead of just rumors and hearsay, like if you go to your Steam client and you go to badges or you check your badge progress, like there's a unknown tab, or I don't think it says. I think for a day it said unknown. There's basically a blank tab that basically says, "Hey, the summer sale is starting soon," because the
Yep.
first year they had cards on the summer sale, they
Well,
really
like
fucked up.
Steam's Russia blog leaked the date, I think.
Fucking Russians every time.
And I believe they said June 11th. Might be July 11th. Pretty sure it's June 11th. Which means they're starting it a little early this year, but they didn't really.
No, mid-June. That's right around when they
I
usually
thought they
start.
usually did it around July.
It's years ago. It was July, and then it slowly shifted to mid-June. I think last year was the 22nd or some shit. So right around there.
Okay, yeah. So apparently June 11th is when it's gonna start. So that'll be
A good
interesting. We'll see.
a
We'll
good
see.
indicator. So I just totally cut you off. I didn't mean to do that.
No, go ahead, dude. You're fine.
I was just gonna say, like last year or the past couple of years, a good indicator was GOG would do a sale right before Steam and get all their shit out of the way. But this year, Amazon, GOG, Gamersgate, a lot of these sites seem to be getting their summer sales
Yeah.
over now
Yeah.
before it starts.
I'm really disappointed with Amazon so far.
It's
Although,
not as bad as you made it out to be. It's just it seems like a standard Steam sale, honestly.
yeah,
Just a lot of
that's
75%
really
off shit.
what it is. It's turned into a Steam sale. Although they did have like I'm really fucking tempted to pick up Assassin's Creed Rogue because that game sounded like it was awesome. 'Cause you play as a Templar that kills other assassins. Like fuck yeah, I'm in. Like, and that was supposed to be like the game out of those two that was actually good, and
The
apparently
better one, yeah.
it's a really really good fucking PC port, and it plays really well, and it's got tons of features in terms of like graphical settings and stuff. Like apparently Ubi nailed it when it came to designing this one on PC. Um, but their Uplay keys.
Yeah, I was about to say, there's one flaw in your plan.
Yeah, they're Uplay keys, and like, even though I know that I just have to launch Uplay inside Steam anyways to boot up the fucking game, like, I can't be bothered. So if Steam drops it down to 20, I will pay $5 more to own it on Steam, versus.
Which is kind of ironic because you still have to use Uplay, but just the fact that it's on Steam, I'm right there with you. It brings you some type of solace.
Yeah, man. But yeah, like that's
Goals.
and that price is ridiculous on that game. Like Ubi never does that. Like never gives the clearance for that kind of a discount on those games that came out last year, dude. For fuck's sake, fucking Assassin's Creed 2 is on sale for $15. Like what? It's a game that came out how many years ago versus a game that just came out last year, and they're both at the
6.
same price.
Yeah. It's like the Activision Call of Duty nonsense that gamers always put up with whenever the sale rolls around.
Yeah, exactly. So that's an amazing price on that game, and yeah, I'll eat the $5 extra if I have it on Steam versus.
It's not an uncommon thought process. I'm usually right there. Well, up until all these clients start popping up, I was right there with you. But nowadays, I guess it's kind of more. Clients are a bit more diverse and you have a bit more choice and stuff. But yeah, usually if I'm going to play something if I have to use Uplay, it's going to be through Steam. That's just the way it is.
Yeah.
Even though you still have to have the client installed, you still have to use the client, go through the client.
But yeah, I'm interested in seeing what Steam does. There's a bunch of stuff that's been on sale through GOG, but like I'm kind of tempted to just wait to see if it's on sale with Steam too.
With newer releases, I still prefer Steam. Like, there's a game I really want that came out about a month ago called Apatheon, and it's really cheap on GOG right now. But I know it'll hit that price on Steam, and I'd rather.
Yeah, that's kind of where I am at with it too. But yeah, dude, it's always an exciting time with Steam sale rolls around. We'll have E3 that week too, so I mean that's just gonna be an exciting week in terms
And
of
all that
announcements
shit's
and
gonna
stuff.
lead up into well, I guess no, TI is still a ways off. It's not leading into that at all.
Yeah, yeah.
But that's still kind of in the same time frame. Payday event, summer sale. It's just a lot of video games do summer events too. It's just I guess because they know that gamers aren't going out and enjoying summer, they just rather sit in their room with air conditioning and play video games. So it's a good time to put out updates and patches and stuff like that.
Yeah.
All right, boys. Well, unless you have something pressing you would like to bring up, I think we are good for the day.
Oh, real quick, I have been playing an interesting game. Well, just finished playing an interesting game. Called Through the Woods. Doing a preview on it.
There's
Uh,
actually a demo for that up on their site you can download.
yeah. Doing a preview on it, and it's interesting, man. At first I was like, oh, it's just like another slow survival horror game. And there's been a lot of those lately. There's only been like two I think that have really nailed it. And so there's like an oversaturation with them. And so like when I saw this game, my brain immediately went towards the forest. And I was like, okay, this looks like it's just going to be kind of like a game like that where you're just kind of like exploring a forest and trying to survive. And then I played it. I played this demo, and it's interesting. At first, it felt like I said very much like the forest in terms of exploration. You don't really have a lot on you. It's very limited. The area around you looks very similar to the forest when it's dark. Um,
Well, a
and,
forest is a forest.
yeah, yeah,
That
yeah.
is the thing.
So like at first I was like, all right, well it's just very similar to that, but it's in third person. And as I
You're a mother
continue,
looking for her daughter, right?
yeah, as I continued exploring and everything, it did certain things that really grabbed my attention. Like it rewarded player. You know how like in the forest you'll wander through the fucking forest for a really fucking long time and not find anything really that strikes your interest aside from like zombies and stuff, or I guess
And the
cannibals.
occasional village.
Yeah, yeah. This game, there's actually like there's things that you can find that really kind of improve the experience. There's these runes that you can find. And I actually had no idea that you could like actually decipher them. I just kind of looked at them, checked them out, and tried to kind of piece together what they meant. But apparently people are saying that you can decipher them, and that adds to the story. Um, and so finally, the suspense started building up, and I ran into my first like creature, and it reminded me of something just straight out of Dark Souls or Bloodborne. In terms of like everything was very exaggerated. All the features were like really long arms, kind of hulked over.
This is the
Um,
big thing that chases you, right?
no, no, this is the
Assuming.
first. This is the first thing that I saw, and so like I immediately turned my flashlight off, and I was like, oh shit, and like started hiding, right, and wasn't really sure what to do, and eventually my courage started kind of building back up, and so like I turned the flashlight back on and tried to catch like a glimpse of it, and I caught this thing like shambling away into the distance. And I didn't get a good enough look at it because I didn't want to shine my flashlight on it too long and draw attention to myself. So I ran off. Um, and continued following the path, and then all of a sudden, and I mean, this isn't really a spoiler. It's the first fucking like maybe 15 minutes of the game. You run into a troll, um, and at first, no, like I died to it the first time because I shined my light on it for too long, and I got its attention, and it started chasing me. Second time, I realized it still chases you no matter what, even if you try to sneak past it, but you just have to continue running, like, and try to escape. And like that was really actually very well done. It was very suspenseful. Like it got my heart beating. I was actually kind of scared by this, and I really like the fact that it's not zombies. It's not like you know cannibals. It's not. It's like supernatural shit. And there's something really interesting about running away from these types of monsters and having experiences like that with these types of monsters. Um, but the flashlight played a really, really integral part of the whole experience of the game, and it reminded me a lot of what is it?
Alan Wake.
Yes, Alan Wake.
Mason
Um,
Outbreak.
and and it's in a third-person perspective. Like I said, the flashlight is very much a part of it, and so it ended up feeling like a blend of like Outlast meets The Forest meets Alan Wake. Um, Obviously nowhere near the level of 4, but I mean Outlast in the terms of like that game actually scared me at points. Like actually got me my heart beating. You know, my heart was racing.
Mm.
When you
Earlier,
go ahead.
oh, sorry. Earlier when you said you had to hide behind something to get your courage up, is that like a meter in the game? Does that play
No,
into it,
no,
or is it
that
like
me
your own
personally.
constitution?
Yeah,
Okay.
my own personal like oh fuck like that's how like kind of into it I got, and it's been a while. It's been actually pretty much
Awesome.
since Outlast, um, where I had to like actually just kind of take a breath and be like, okay, because it does a very very good job of building up the tension, and it does so in a way where you can kind of explore freely and get lost, but then when you stumble upon the area that you're supposed to be in, it makes it very clear. There's a lot of very very good audio cues, um, a lot of very interesting interactions, and yeah, like I said, these monsters really look menacing. Really, really look menacing, dude. They're scary. The graphics aren't that great, but honestly, it's one of those things where you're not gonna want to look at it for very long. So they're good enough to give you that glimpse, um, before you start, hauling ass the other way.
What's the name of this game again?
It's called Through the Woods.
I'll link you a demo that you can download off the site.
Yeah,
Oh,
there's you
awesome.
can download the same demo that I just finished playing off the site. And it's yeah, it's an interesting experience, man.
I'm okay with it just because I didn't play through the demo, but when you brought it up, I just I looked at some gameplay real quick, and it doesn't seem like a stupid game where it's just pop up scares that it's relying on. It seems like it
Yeah,
seems like it's properly done horror where the suspense builds up and it just starts fucking with your mind like Alan Wake or Outlast or a lot of those games did.
exactly. And like it really another thing that I was really impressed with was the way that it built up story. It was subtle, but it was done in a way where like it was intriguing. You know, they'd say a couple lines of like basically like the woman is narrating this story. She's telling her experience of it to a cop that's interrogating her about her missing child. Um, and so like you're it's all from her perspective, and she's telling a story, and basically like sentences of the story start playing whenever you find like where you're supposed to be or find like an important object. Um, and yeah, I don't know. It's really well laid out. Like the story's intriguing. It's got a good setting, and like I said, the monsters that you're going against are different enough to feel suspenseful.
Doesn't feel rehashed like a lot of the survival horror. Well, not survival horror. Well, not even survival horror.
I
A lot of
mean,
the horror genre feels
it's
like
it's
this.
very clearly borrowing elements from a lot of other things, but it's
There's a fine line between borrowing elements and just being repetitive, though.
yeah, yeah. You know what? It's kind of like how that last Lord of the Rings game, Shadows of Mordor, borrowed like a shit ton of different elements from a bunch of different games, but made it into something that was really cool. That's what it feels like they're doing with this game, just borrowing a shit ton of elements from other games, making it into something that feels very, very cool. Um, like I said, it took me about a half hour to get through, but that's because I was really exploring. Uh, I could imagine that really only taking maybe 5 or 10 minutes max.
Well, it's just a like a
If you just
early
go through
version
it.
demo.
Right, right, right. But it's interesting. So like, this is all me gauging all this based on that 10-minute demo. Um, but it's been enough to gather, like really hook my interest. I'm very interested in seeing where it goes. I'll be keeping my eyes on it.
Nice.
We'll definitely be talking about that. On
Any
later,
idea
I'm
when
sure.
if they're doing early access or when they're doing full release or anything like that?
I don't know. The devs contacted us, so all I've got is the press kit talking about this demo basically. So
They're probably
yeah,
going to do early access, I'd assume, if they put out a demo, just to kind of
well,
generate.
I think they kickstarted it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's what
but
I'm
I
looking at
believe.
right now.
half the shit on early access was kickstarted, though.
Yeah, I guess that's true. Yeah, it ought to be really interesting. Like it'll be a good game, and the voice acting was actually better than what I expected. It was better than Peter Dinklage.
I was talking about that with a friend last night. I'm convinced that
Are you
like
talking about Destiny?
yeah, I'm convinced he was taking
Yeah.
naps, and they would just kind of wake him up in the middle of the nap, and they'd
Dude,
have him read a line, go
no,
back
dude,
to sleep,
he was drinking the wine.
drinking. Only forwards, boys.
Only forwards.
Yeah. Did you
W
see
is
the
the
last
only
episode?
key
No,
we knew.
we can't talk about
Yeah,
Game of Thrones.
yeah.
Jesus Christ.
We
Fuck that last episode, though.
Oh
That shit was delicious.
yeah.
Fucking waiting
Guys,
years for that to happen.
Yeah.
we
Oh,
have some breaking news.
Uh-oh.
The forest
Uh-huh.
just got updated.
Uh-huh.
They've opened up more of the map.
Uh-huh.
They've added a destructible building system.
Uh-huh.
They've
forts.
added yeah, now we can blow up Tim's forts. They've
Wander
added
off and die
a
before
cheat mode, and they fixed even more multiplayer bugs. So
Dude, hop on the forest.
we
Chop
should
down
absolutely
trees for the next
absolutely
3
do that.
hours. That's what we ended up doing the last time we all played it. Tree chopping simulator 2014.
I just discovered a bit of news my own self.
Huh.
Actually, this happened about a week ago. The developers behind Shadowrun Chronicles, not the guys that do the single player Shadowrun games, are actually really fucking awesome. The guys that did the multiplayer game, they filed bankruptcy. That's a thing.
Well.
But they're still like, no, we're still doing up. They did like a big update before, like a day before they announced that, and there's supposed to be a big post or end game stuff that they want to add because there's really no end game to that game right now. Apparently they did. It's just a thing. So developers filed bankruptcy, and they're still putting out updates, and it looks like they're still actually going to support this game. I don't know how the fuck that works out, but apparently it does. I guess that's what happens when you charge $40 for a game that's maybe $10.
Yeah, it means they fucked up. They'll probably not be releasing another game after this. That's what it means.
I think they fucked themselves over timeline wise, just because they took too long, and they got the. I think in hindsight they released Shadowrun Chronicles like right before the Shadowrun Hong Kong was announced, which is Harebrained Schemes, the single player games, just coming out this summer. I think they wanted to kind of get shit done and out there before the next Shadowrun got announced, because they didn't really have a strong start. But the game's fun. Looks like shit. The Boston accents are fucking terrible. But it's fun. I really
It's
like that.
preparing
That's
you for
another thing.
Fallout.
Yeah.
A little throw. I was about to say a little throwback to Fallout. I really hope they put better voice acting in Fallout than they did in Shadowrun Chronicles, because Jesus Christ, it is awful.
No,
One of the main characters is supposed to be from Boston. She has a Long Island accent.
She just
There's a fine. It's a huge difference between Long Island and Boston.
Fucking Corbin, stop messaging me.
He does that.
Jesus Christ.
At least he hasn't popped up in chat yet. There's small miracle, Smallmer.
Oh, was I just I was yelling and I thought he was watching us.
Chris popped up.
Oh, well.
He noticed I got a fucking third eye growing out of my head, and I'm amazed you two didn't fucking notice that and point that out yet. And he was the first one to.
I was just gonna let it slide. I've
You're
been
gonna let it slide? No,
I've been
no,
fixated on it, Tim. It's kind of hard to not.
It's like a Tool song going. I have a Tool music video happening in my head right now.
Yeah,
It's just,
absolutely.
it happens sometimes. You just deal with it. Fucking prying open my
Stink
third eye
fist.
and shit.
Nice.
All right, we should call it before this gets any more fucky.
Yeah.
That Game of Thrones episode, though.
We're gonna talk about that after as soon as this is over.
That was pretty fucking great. Anyway, yeah, I think we might do a Let's Play next week. We haven't done one of those in a few weeks now. And now that Jose is back on the roster, I think the three of us should hop on Killing Floor, maybe get Sam and Chris and some other people on board, see what happens.
I don't think
Yeah, it'd be
Sam
awesome.
can still boot up that game.
Oh,
I'm
right.
pretty sure he still cannot boot that game up.
Tell him to build a proper PC.
God, just I don't even know. Poor computer, man.
On its last legs or something.
No, he just he really needs a bigger case, and he's trying to keep it like as cool as possible. A really small case. Excuse me, sorry.
This could be totally bullshit, but my sources, known as a twink boy by the name of Isaac, has told me that unlike Fallout 3 or New Vegas, you can only play as a man, and he is canceling his pre-order. There could be truth
What
to
the
that,
shit?
or it could just be. This is due to the
Lies,
storyline
treachery,
requirement.
villainy.
I really hope that's not the case because
No, I think he's
modding.
just.
No, I only play female characters, so that would.
Apparently,
suck.
someone posted that like 11 months ago, and no one believed her. But I guess the trailer, he believes it now. But everything she said checks out. Yeah, Isaac's just fucking with me.
Oh, well,
He does.
Oh,
that's
okay.
Isaac for you.
We just
Anyways.
exchange hot Korean girl gifts.
Anyways,
Want the world to know.
let's wrap this up. Thanks for tuning in.
Didn't Assassin's Creed just add, like, in their next game, female characters?
Yes.
No, they
that a
had
thing?
that one PSP or Vita knockoff.
Yeah,
fucking
but you
Assassin's
could
Creed.
only play as a female character.
Racism.
Absolute racism. Never mind the fact that she's black; it's still
It was
racist.
black,
We're
right?
getting off before we get. This has been episode 21. We hope you enjoyed. We'll be back next week, and
Racist and sexist, Jose.
probably a Let's Play next week too, because we're all together again. The band's back together, so we got to do that shit.
Yeah.
Get that viewership up. Be sure to follow us on Twitter, which is below, our YouTube channel, our Steam group that you can join. Occasionally, we're going to start doing games with viewers. All of our individual streams, which would be me, Jose, and Palmer, is below there, and just all that bullshit's right below where this video is. So
My hair was up this whole time.
yes.
I don't know what that has to do with anything, but
Just end this, Palmer. Just hit the button.
I'm just gonna stop streaming now.
Yeah, hit the button.
Take care, everybody.
Have a
We'll
good
see
week.
y'all next Wednesday at 10 p.m.
Well, 10:05. Come on, let's be real.
Yeah.